Okay, this is a single leg circle exercise that's really trying to stabilize that pelvis and trying to using your muscles around your legs and your pelvis to control your circle. So I'm going to do it the first way. So again, you're going to use this Theraband as a strap or as a spring if you had your foot in a spring or your foot in your strap. And I'm going to keep this leg bent and this knee straight right in front of my hip. So again, you don't want your pelvis curling back and forth. So you're going to want to try to keep that pelvis reaching away from you and that leg stabilized. So this knee bend is going to help. And you also don't want the knee to go back and forth. So I want you to find your inner thigh and just hold your leg like that. It's going to want to balance your other leg, so try not to let it. You're going to take your Theraband and you're just going to outward rotate your foot and inward rotate your foot. And notice, or just know how you can control, use your muscle tissue to open the hip socket around and internally rotate the hip socket. Your foot, if you follow it all the way up the road, can follow that, but you can also do it with the foot without doing the leg at all. So just be mindful of that. We're going to outward rotate it. We're going to slide that leg down below us. We're going to draw our abdominals up in to hold onto that leg. You're going to reach it out. You're going to try not to let the other leg move. And then you're going to pick that leg up mostly with your abdominals pulling into you. So it's more of a, instead of it being a circle, it's more of a D shape. You're going down the D, you're pointing that foot, you're upward rotating it, you're opening it out with control. You're trying really hard to not let that other leg move, and then you're bringing it in. And I am tugging at my abdominals to make sure that that leg doesn't just fall out and this pulls out up into me. So you're gonna do 5 in this direction. I inhale, I exhale, draw my abdominals into center, try to keep this left leg stable, and then I pull it in with my inner thigh and my abdominals. And I'm gonna do one more. You're supposed to do 5. And I pull it in. Your arms should not be going around. They should be nice and stable as if they're anchored with that strap. And then then you're gonna reverse it. You're gonna go out. Now you gotta find that left foot to hold onto it. And you pull it all the way through and then pick it up in that outward rotation and plug it in. Don't let your pelvis, just let it go. That's your control of your abdominals. You go out to the side, windshield wiper it out. You go around, you're using your abdominals to hold that leg so it doesn't drop off of you. And then you plug it into you right at that hip socket. I'm gonna do 3 more. And 2. And last one. Beautiful. And then I'm gonna easily, instead of taking the one off and then trying to put the other one in, I'm just gonna put the other one in, drop the left, drop the right foot. Again, playing around with my pelvis and knowing what is neutral and what isn't. It's super hard to not find afterwards. And then I'm gonna inward and outward rotate that leg, just the leg, just your hip socket, which is really hard to do as well. Some legs are better than others. And then I'm gonna point that foot, I'm gonna outward rotate it, and I'm gonna lower it down through the center. I'm gonna draw my abdominals in to control it, to bring it across, making sure that my right leg doesn't move, and then I'm gonna plug it back into center. And you're gonna do that 4 more times. So you also, like when I'm doing this, just kind of be careful where your touch points are on your mat and make sure that you don't lean into something that you didn't originally start with from center. So I'm kind of concentrating on the weight of my sit bone in the center of me. Sometimes the weight ends up on the outside of my hip, and that's when I know that I'm not using my abdominals enough to keep me in the center. So just something that as I'm doing this, I just keep myself honest. I don't know if this is 5, but I'm gonna make this 5. And then I'm gonna switch directions. I'm gonna make sure that that right leg is plugged in, and I'm gonna scoop my belly to turn it around and scoop it more to bring it in. When I say scoop it, I really mean flatten it and feel that edge of the box. Feel that edge of my bowl, of my bowl. I'm gonna do 3 more. And 2. And 1. Now, as your leg gets stretchier, you can bring the leg all the way to here. Just make sure that your muscles can control this pelvis from curling up into you. As your leg gets stretchier and you want to go really far away, you got to make sure that you don't lean over into that side and lose the center of your body. So that bony point that I wanted you to feel in the center is really good to find when you're hypermobile, so that you don't think that you can go out so far and then all of a sudden just feel heavier on this outside of your hip. That's it. I hope that's helpful. Thanks.